Welcome back to the Leonardo Fifth Avenue podcast. We're directly from the Winter Park store. My name is Hazel Ortiz, and it's a pleasure to once again be your host. I'm a local journalist here in Central Florida, and I've been able to work with Leonardo Fifth Avenue since 2019 as a model. Today, I have a special interview because we are with her, Ana Sofia Cordero. Thank you so much for being here with us, and such a delight to kind of dive into the new designs and just the new structure that you guys have incorporated in the Winter Park store and how it's different from the other ones. So thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for coming here, being with us today.
Thank you so much. So let's dive right into it. I want to dive into your impression of Winter Park and what has meant for you to be here. Like, obviously, when you compare it to Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and the other stores, it's different. So tell us a little bit more about that.
No, actually, I came to Winter Park, I think, for the first time around like 2018, 2019. It was just like holidays, and absolutely fell in love with the city. Park Avenue, I loved just walking around, going to restaurants, and I just loved the atmosphere. And then when I incorporated myself into, Leonardo Fifth Avenue, actually that first year, I would say that first 10 months, I was really based here.
Okay.
So I really got to experience not only more the lifestyle as a person who lives here, but really was able to connect with our clients, understand what is our market, who is our client, what are their needs, what do they like, what do they don't like. That experience of really designing a piece for our clients as well. And yeah, I absolutely loved it here, and I fell in love. I had to kind of step away a little bit and be a little bit more all over the place. But yeah, it was just, I really wanted to understand who is our client here and who are we designing for?
And that's exactly what it sounds like. Like, you really immersed yourself in the culture that Winter Park has to offer and Central Florida has to offer. So that based on what you're telling me, you definitely incorporated that into the store and how you treat clients here. It's definitely a different family. It's an extended family, right? And a different clientele. So tell me about, in comparison to the other stores and to the other markets that you've been exposed to, how is this market different and how you customize it, particularly for them and their needs?
Well, yeah, because it's different because obviously you're in a different culture, so you have that difference in cultural elements. Our clients range from people that are Americans that live here, that have lived here for a really long time, to either also Latin from different cultures, so Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Venezuelans. So we have. Honestly, Orlando has such a diversity in terms of culture. So we have clients from India, we have clients from you name it, different countries. And they're all here. So I think that's like the really interesting part. That I think that's one of the things that I loved most about Winter Park and Orlando area. That maybe I don't receive as much when I go to Puerto Rico, when I go to Dominican Republic, which I absolutely love our people there. But I think it's really cool that here we have such an extended amount of cultures, and and I've been able to learn from them, and then really that has influenced me a lot on how I design, how I understand, and then be able to communicate with different cultures and different types of people, which we all have different styles of communication, especially culturally. So I think that's been a really interesting part of especially being that first year here. I just learned a lot and I grabbed a lot of inspirations because a lot of times, based on where we are from, we kind of develop so it's and they have different styles, so I think that's one of the things that I've loved most.
I bet it's been somewhat of a challenge because you say it's been very interesting, but it's definitely challenging because just like you mentioned, there's a lot of cultures, there's a lot of people, it's different backgrounds and even ages, because you don't limit yourself to, let's say, 25 to 35. Like, you have all sorts of clients that are looking for that perfect suit. So tell us a little bit about the experiences that you've been able to receive here at the Winter Park store, and perhaps one of them that sticks to your head that you're like, wow, this was very rewarding, or this was very interesting, or very challenging.
I think the cool part also is not only like age difference. We have designed suit. Well, I like to say suits, but it was more like attire, I think.
Right.
For like babies, for like 2 years old.
I love this. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like the dad was getting married, and then he wanted his son to or daughter, both to wear like kind of the same like fabric or like, so we
Same
created like we
style.
did like the shirt and the little pant, like the vest and stuff like that to like an older market as well that just wanted something for a night out and stuff like that. So that's been super interesting, but I would say like I think like one of the pieces that I designed that stands out more was previously, after like just right when I started, then I came here. He's still our client. He was getting married and he wanted something really, really extravagant.
Ooh.
And so Leonardo was like,
Challenge.
so Leonardo was like, hey, you're going to take care of that. I was like, okay. Literally, I was here for like 2 weeks. I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah. So then I was like, I sit down with him, and I think for the brand, that was like the first really couture piece that I made.
Okay.
So it was for his wedding, and he wanted to do kind of a tuxedo, but different. So he wanted something just more extravagant, something really like, this is my moment.
Right.
And in purple. So I was like, okay, we're going to make this happen.
Right.
So we did like this whole train that came out of the tuxedo, of the
wow.
code of the tuxedo. So it was when I created the sample for him, it was a really long and one-on-one process. I did the sketch for him and everything like that. So, and I think that's the end result, he was so happy and he loved it so much. And
I love that.
yeah, it was a really fulfilling experience, because not only because it was my first really couture piece here, but he was just so happy. And we have now a friendship. We've kept in contact. We follow each other on Instagram. I see his stuff all the time. So I think that's one of the highlights, I would say.
Right. Most rewarding experiences. And you mentioned various points that really caught my attention. And it's the fact that, just like we've spoken with Leonardo before, this is family based.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the feeling that you give out to your customers, to your clients. Then they turn into family, which is amazing. Now, you also mentioned couture. Let's talk about couture and how the brand has evolved based on your perspective. You've been the recent or most recent addition to the family of Leonardo Fifth Avenue, the brand. What does that mean to you, and how your influence has changed and influenced the brand? I want you to tell us a little bit more about that, but based on your perspective.
Honestly, I'm super honored to be able to kind of step up and be that new influence. I do not take it for granted at all, and I know it's an incredible challenge that I'm totally up for it. But I think it's been one of the things that I've loved most is that I'm the first woman of this generation to be the next one.
Okay, sorry.
And honestly, like and I think we needed that.
Yes.
We need a little bit of like a woman
we saw
influence.
it in the recent collection. Like,
Yeah.
Ana Sofia all over.
And honestly, I don't really even think about it. I swear, like it was yesterday. We had like an event here, a little more intimate with like some guest.
Yes.
And someone just pointed it out to me, and she was like, it's really cool. It's like you're the fourth generation, but you're the first woman of that to follow. Like,
It was about time.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't think about it, and it caught me thinking yesterday. I was like, you know what? It's true. So I think that's been like really, I'm super grateful to be able to fulfill that, and I think it was needed to create that little more, touch, that little feminine touch that to kind of evolve things.
Totally. And honestly, that is a challenge by itself, because you have your personality. Your dad, Leonardo, also has his personality. So you mixing both of those can be challenging. Like, you keep mentioning stuff to me, and I'm like, this is challenge after challenge after challenge. Yeah. So what's your best method to overcome these and kind of not lose the essence of the brand? Because that right there can be really tricky.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's one of the things that helps me It's because I was born with a brand. You know, this is a 50-year plus
Yes.
brand, and I was born into it. So I really understand very well what's the essence, who are we to the
Exactly.
core. So I think that's one of my advantages that I really understand, and I understand that it's important to maintain that essence that we have. And what I tend to test sometimes the boundaries.
I see it, and I love it.
And then he'll be like, okay, you need to bring it down. But I think that's important. Sometimes, like, if you want to evoke change, if you want to evoke something new, you need to be able to do that. And sometimes, yeah, it might not always work, and we might need to tone it down. But with toning it down, something comes out of it, because you need to ask those questions. You need to be like, okay, can we take it to this level?
Yes.
You know, and then we might not take it to level 10,
Right.
but we can
But
take it to
7.
level 7
Right.
and then create something really cool. And I think I love that I am able to do that with him, and he accepts it. I think that's a cool thing of our relationship and our dynamic. He kind of doesn't just brush it off, or just
Right.
be like, no, that's too much for me, or no, that's too much for the brand, or it's too off top, or it's too like off brand, or something like that. He like really like just listens to me, and okay, like, cool, like, let's make it work, let's see how can we incorporate it. And then that's when the communication starts. And
It's a
when-
50-50.
yeah, honestly, like, and I think that's what's created like a really cool evolution to the brand.
Totally. You heard it, people. Push boundaries in the most healthy way possible, but push them. Because if you want to evolve, I mean, it's part of it.
And sometimes you need to like ask permission later and say sorry.
I love it. Is that your mantra? You're like,
Yeah.
let me just push it.
Let me just do it and
see
say
what
sorry
happens.
later.
Sorry. I love it because I can definitely perceive your personality
Yeah.
and the contrast, right?
Yeah.
Between the beautiful contrast, honestly, and the perfect balance
Yeah.
that the brand has. Now, let's take it back to, again, Winter Park and your involvement and how Winter Park has shaped you, has shaped the brand, and has shaped the store.
Yeah, honestly, like, first of all, I just fell in love with Winter Park. I think
Yes.
it's such a magical place, not only because it's a lifestyle here. And
Yes.
that's exactly, I think, one of the things that influenced me most when I came from Winter Park, is that I really want to create, and I've said this multiple times, I want Leonardo Fifth Avenue to become a lifestyle brand. And I think we're slowly doing that. And I got a lot of that inspiration and understood that really well by living here, by, getting that influence from Winter Park, because Winter Park is a lifestyle.
Yes.
So you have everything here, and then you come here, and it's I love the sense of community that Winter Park has. And then kind of like a lot of people know each other, and then you can go to brunch, and then you go walk
Yes.
around the stores, and then you go to dinner, and it's a really like community where you understand the lifestyle that everybody has, and it's a really like cool thing. And there's different stores, and there's different like occasions to dress up. There's a lot of events happening, like Winter Park Festival that we're doing
Yes.
right now, but there's a lot of stuff going on always. And that's kind of what I would say, like, I want my customer to be the Winter Park customer, that has somewhere to go from the morning to the
Yes.
night, from like an event later in the night to just brunch,
Yes.
with the girls, or, with the family. So that sense of lifestyle, I think it was the most important thing that I grabbed from being here, and I really, really loved. And that's what I want our brand to become.
And whenever you were presenting at New York Fashion Week, I think that's exactly one of the concepts that we mentioned. And it was the fact that the clothing was able to transform and evolve throughout the day based on the different atmospheres and experiences that you face. You're going to brunch? Excellent. You have a meeting at 12? Beautiful. You have an evening event, cocktail, reception hour? It's able to be there. You don't have to twist it so much. You don't have to sacrifice your style, because the brand and just the piece does it for you, which I love. Now, I want to know, how are you going to keep up with the trend that also like Winter Park has to offer, and how are you going to personalize that experience, or keep personalizing that experience as years come by?
No, honestly, I think we just keep evolving with our customers. I think that's the main thing, and that's how I learn here.
Yes.
Because I grab so many ideas and so many things that I want to do in the future from what our customers even ask us to do. Because
Yes.
we pretty much 90% that we do here is we do design, we do custom. So our client comes in a lot of the times they're already somewhat an idea of what they want to make.
Right.
And then obviously we help them and we help them create it and kind of concrete the idea and design it and have it come to life. But I think I grabbed so much inspiration and so many ideas from our own customers, and that's just the key to keep evolving here and to keep creating beautiful things. Just keep listening to our customers. I think I would say that's the main thing.
That's the key. Now, speaking about collections, what can we like you already presented, and I'm already thinking about the next one. Because it was, yes, I am. Sign me up. We recorded this. You can't go back now.
I'm gonna be like,
Okay, so let's talk about, like, I want to dive into a little bit about what inspires Ana Sofia, what pushes Ana Sofia. Again, we saw it in the recent collection. So what really drives you to be like, no, this is the way that we're going, or this is not the way that we're going?
I think it's a lot. I don't think it's one specific thing. I think it's just different elements or different things that are going on in my life at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe like I'm doing whatever, and there's this certain group of women are inspiring me at that time of like what are they doing, or just stuff that is going on in the world, and a lot of I get inspired not only from my clients but from street art and streetwear.
Which is exactly what we're seeing back here.
So that's why we're trying to incorporate just kind of those different types of art and different types of manifestations of art, not only in fashion. That's what inspires me, and people. I love people watching. So if you watch me just in a coffee shop drinking coffee by myself,
Mind your business.
I'm people watching.
I love that.
So I get inspired a lot just by people and their lives, and not only what they wear and how they express themselves, but in different aspects of their life and what they do and how do they communicate and all those things. You kind of just
you compile them
and then something comes out of it.
So stay tuned, because I can only imagine what the next collection is going to bring, and just the Winter Park store by itself, and just these episodes, which we're going to continue doing for you to show you a little bit more of behind the scenes of the thought process, the making process, the making of, and just everything that has to do with Leonardo Fifth Avenue, particularly the Winter Park stores and around the other stores as well. For me, it's been a pleasure to interview you and just sit down and catch up. Thank you so much. So stick around.